found this story on our No Sleep, posted by a user who hasn't been active since. They called it a warning about looking too closely at your neighbors. Still, after reading it, I keep my curtains closed. My name's Alex. I moved into a new apartment a few months ago, a quiet building on the edge of town. My bedroom window faced my neighbor's house, an old place with peeling paint. Every night, I'd see a silhouette in their window, just standing there, watching my building. It creeped me out, but I figured they were just nosy. I'd wave sometimes, trying to be friendly, but they never waved back. They just stood there, motionless, until I closed my curtains. One night, I got curious and looked up the address online. The house had been vacant for years, foreclosed after the last owner passed away. My stomach dropped. I checked the window, and the silhouette was there, same as always. I called my landlord, asking if anyone had moved in. He laughed and said, "That place has been empty forever." I didn't sleep that night. The next evening, the silhouette was closer to the window, its outline sharper. It wasn't just a shadow, it had a face, pale and stretched, like someone had pulled the skin too tight. Its eyes were huge, unblinking, locked on me. I yanked my curtains shut, heart racing. I told myself it was my imagination, but when I peeked an hour later, it was still there, and it waved. A slow, jerky wave, like a puppet on strings. I stopped sleeping in my bedroom, crashing on the couch instead, but the silhouette started appearing in my living room window, then my kitchen. Always the same face, always watching. I posted about it on Reddit, and someone replied, "It's not your neighbor, it's learning you." I didn't know what that meant, but it made my skin crawl. Last week, things got worse. I woke up to my phone's camera roll open, filled with selfies I didn't take. They showed me sleeping, my face twisted into that same stretched, pale grin. Close the band. In the background was the silhouette, closer each time, its fingers long and twitching. Skew. I smashed my phone, but the next day, a new one was on my counter, already full of those pictures. 2 nights ago, I saw it in my bathroom mirror. Not outside, but behind me, its face pressed against my reflection. Its mouth opened, wider than any mouth should, and my own face started to change, my lips pulling up, my eyes growing too big. I screamed and ran, locking myself in my closet. Kada. I could hear it moving in my apartment, its footsteps wet and heavy. I'm typing this from a motel now. I left everything behind, but last night, I looked out the motel window, and there it was, across the street, waving. My reflection in the glass was wrong, smiling that awful smile. I don't know how much longer I can run. If you see a silhouette in your neighbor's window, don't wave back. It's not a neighbor, it's something else, and it's learning to be you. This story came from a Reddit user who posted on r, oddly terrifying before their account went dark. Lee said music can haunt you. I'm Sarah, and after reading this, I checked my playlists twice. Here's what they wrote. I'm not a big music person, just use Spotify for background noise when I work. A few weeks ago, a new playlist showed up in my account called Your Last Song. I didn't make it, and it had songs I'd never heard of, with weird titles like The Sound of Your Fall and Breath Stops Here. I deleted it, thinking it was a glitch, but the next day, it was back. I listened to the first song out of curiosity. It was just static at first, then a low voice humming, like it was underwater. The lyrics described a car crash in vivid detail, screeching tires, shattering glass. That same day, I rear-ended someone at a stoplight. It wasn't bad, but the coincidence freaked me out. Deleted the playlist again, kept coming back, and the songs got worse. One called Cold Hands, talked about waking up to someone strangling you. That night, I woke up choking, my throat bruised like fingers had been there. I stopped listening, but my phone would play the playlist on its own, always at night, the volume maxed out. My neighbors complained, but I wasn't even touching my phone. I posted on Reddit, and someone said it sounded like a cursed playlist tied to some dark web experiment. They told me to burn my phone and move. I laughed it off, but then I heard the next song, Your Name in the Dirt. It was a woman's voice, whispering my name, Sarah, over and over, mixed with this wet, gurgling sound, like she was drowning. The next morning, I found my backyard dug up, my name carved into the soil. Last night, the playlist updated with a final song, Sarah's Last Note. I didn't play it, but my phone started anyway. The voice wasn't human anymore, it was deep, guttural, singing about a room with walls that bleed. As it played, my walls started dripping, this thick, black liquid pooling on the floor. I grabbed my phone to smash it, but the screen showed a live feed of me. Standing in that bleeding room, my face pale, my mouth open in a scream I couldn't hear. I burned my phone in the backyard, but this morning, I found a new one on my pillow. The playlist already open, the song's playing now, and I hear footsteps in my house, matching the beat. Damn me, they're getting closer. If you see a playlist you didn't make, don't listen. It's not music, something else, and it knows your name. I read this on No Sleep, posted by a hiker who vanished after sharing it. They warned about straying off trails. My name's Ethan, and I haven't gone hiking since. This is their story. Love hiking, always have. Last month, I went to a forest a few hours from my city, one I'd never explored. The trail was quiet, no other hikers, just me and the trees. About 2 hours in, I found a clearing that wasn't on my map. In the center was a tree unlike any I'd seen. Its bark was soft, almost like skin, and it smelled like blood. I touched it, and my fingers came away red, sticky. I should have run then, took a step back, but my hands started itching, then burning. When I looked, my skin was sprouting, like tiny twigs of bark growing out of my palm. I panicked, scratching until I bled, but the growths kept spreading, up my arm, hard and rough. I stumbled back to my car, but the forest felt wrong now. The trees leaning closer, their branches like arms. At home, I cleaned my hand, but the growths wouldn't stop. My arm was half covered, my skin cracking like dry wood. I went to a doctor, but they'd never seen anything like it. They gave me pills, but that night, I dreamed of the tree. It spoke, its trunk splitting into a mouth, whispering, "You're part of us now." I woke up with my arm twice its size, the bark pulsing like it had a heartbeat. I posted on Reddit, and someone said I'd touched a flesh tree. Something ancient that feeds on humans, turning them into itself. They told me to burn it. I drove back to the forest, my arm heavy, dragging roots that snagged on my car seats. The tree was there, bigger, its branches covered in human hands, twitching like they were alive. My name was carved into its trunk. I tried to burn it, pouring gasoline, but the flames didn't catch. Instead, the tree moved, its roots wrapping around my legs, pulling me closer. I fought, but my arm was growing into the trunk, fusing with it. I could feel it, the tree's thoughts, its hunger. It whispered, "You're home." I blacked out. I woke up in my car, my arm normal again, but my skin feels wrong, too tight, and I hear the whispering at night. Last night, I saw bark on my chest, spreading like veins. I'm not going back. If you find a tree that doesn't belong, don't touch it. It's not just alive, it's hungry, and it'll make you part of it. This came from our no-sleep thread that got locked after a day. The user said some stories read you back. My name's Mia, and I've cleared my Reddit history. Here's what they posted. 1. Spend hours on Reddit, mostly lurking. Last week, I found a thread in our no sleep called What Happens to Mia Tonight. Clicked, because well, that's my name. It was a story about me, my apartment, my job, even what I'd worn that day. But it described things I hadn't done, like finding a locked door in my closet at 2 a.m. I laughed it off, thinking it was a coincidence, but then I heard a creak from my closet. I checked, and there was a door, small and rusted, hidden behind my clothes. It hadn't been there before. I didn't open it, but the thread updated, saying, describing Mia opens the door and sees it. I froze. The post was changing, predicting my moves. I commented, asking who they were, but my reply vanished. And the thread's user avatars changed. Everyone was now a blank face, eyeless, smiling at me. I tried closing the app, but it reopened, the thread still there. It described me running to my kitchen, tripping over a knife. I stayed put, but my foot caught on something, a kitchen knife, on my bedroom floor. I screamed, throwing it out the window. The thread updated. Mia throws the knife, but it's too late. That night, I stayed up, watching the thread. It said, Mia hears it behind her. I turned, and my shadow was wrong, too tall, with arms that bent backward. Tia ran to her friends, but my laptop was there, open to Reddit. The thread, Tia read, Mia runs, but we're already there. The user's avatar's profile pictures were now my face, but my eyes were gone, just empty pits. I deleted my account, but the thread kept posting, now on other subs, describing my every move. Last night, it said, Mia looks in the mirror. I didn't want to, but I did. My reflection was me, but my face was melting, my mouth open in a silent scream. Something moved behind my eyes, like fingers pushing through. I'm typing this from a library computer. I haven't gone home, but my phone just pinged with a Reddit notification, and the thread's still updating. It says, Mia thinks she's safe. It's not a story, it's watching you, and it wants you to know it's inside. I found this on our No Sleep, posted by a renter who disappeared. They said some apartments hide secrets. My name's Jake, and I check my walls now. Here's their story. I moved into a cheap apartment last month, a steal for the price. The first night, I heard laughter, faint, like it came from the walls. It wasn't loud, just a giggle, but it stopped when I knocked. I figured it was neighbors, but it happened every night, louder, more voices, always giggling. I asked around, but the building was half empty, and no one else heard it. One night, the laughter was so loud it shook my bed. I traced it to my bathroom, the wall behind my sink. I pressed my ear against it and heard wet breathing, like someone was right there. I hit the wall, and the laughter stopped, but something knocked back hard. I stumbled back, my heart pounding. The next day, I found scratches on the bathroom wall, like nails dragging down. I called my landlord, but he said the apartment was fine. That night, I saw a crack in the wall, shaped like a smile. I pushed, and the plaster gave way, revealing a small mirror. But it wasn't my bathroom, it showed a room, dark, with mirrors everywhere, reflecting people who weren't there. Their faces were laughing, mouths splitting wider, teeth falling out. I covered the mirror, but the laughter followed me. My bedroom mirror showed the same room, the figures closer now. Their faces were mine, my jaw stretching, laughing until my cheeks tore. I smashed the mirror, but the shards kept reflecting them, giggling louder. Posted on Reddit, and someone said it was a laughing room, a place where spirits feed on joy until it breaks you. They told me to leave. Last night, I woke up laughing, my throat raw, my mouth aching. I didn't want to, but I couldn't stop. The mirrors were back, and the figures were in my apartment. Their faces, my face, their mouths open too wide. They whispered my name. Jake, laugh with us. My jaw felt loose, like it might break. I'm in a friend's place now, but I can't stop giggling. My reflection's wrong, my mouth too big, my teeth too many. I hear the laughter in my head, everywhere. If you hear a giggle from your walls, don't listen, it's not a joke. It's something else, and it'll make you laugh until you're not you anymore.